This is Roy Candy from Epic Gaming Night, and today we're taking a look at Numeracy Legends and...
The Gluttony Dragon!
The Gluttony Dragon.
The Gluttony Dragon!
The Gluttony Dragon is a 1 to 5 player, 1 vs. many kids game set in the Numeracy Legends trilogy. The dragon has crashed the other player's picnic, and they have to fight him off to keep him from eating all the food. One player will play the Gluttony Dragon, and the other players will play the different characters depending on the number of players in the game. The Gluttony Dragon has health equal to 10 times the number of opponents he has. So in a 2-player game he would have 10 health, and in a 5-player game he would have 40. Then the other players each pick one of the other characters to play. Certain characters will have special abilities if you're playing in the advanced mode. The Knight Jack would have extra defense against arrows. The Warrior Julia is better with melee attack. The Wizard Bean is better with defense against magic. And then the Archer Fluffy is better with ranged combat. At the beginning of each round, the Gluttony Dragon player will draw 2 cards from the item deck. He will choose one of the cards to keep for himself to equip, and then he will choose another card for the other players to choose among themselves who will be able to equip that card. When you equip a card, it boosts the stat related to that card. So whenever you play the cards in combat, you will have increased attack or defenses against those certain types of attacks. Now each player will pick which type of attack they are going to do for the round. This is a kind of paper, rock, scissors mechanic, where the melee combat works better against magic, the range works better against melee, and then the magic works better against range. After you pick your attack for the round, you will place it face down on your character board. After each player has secretly chosen their attack, they will reveal them, and then we will determine damage starting with the hero characters. Jack chose a magic attack, which goes good against the dragon's ranged attack, so he will end up doing 3 damage against the dragon. You calculate the damage for each of the hero characters, and the dragon will have taken a certain number of damage depending on which attacks they chose for which attack he chose. The dragon will attack with range attack to all of the different heroes. He also gets to add 1 to his range for his weapon that he has that adds +1. So with his 1 attack for attacking ranged against magic, and his 1 with his weapon, he'll deal 2 damage to Jack. Julia ends up taking 4 damage because she chose close combat. Bean ends up taking 3 damage because he chose ranged. And then Fluffy ends up taking 2 damage because he chose magic. That compared to the 10 damage that they did overall to the dragon, it wasn't too bad of a turn for the heroes. Then you start another round with the dragon selecting 2 items, choosing 1 to keep and the other to give to the heroes. Rounds continue until all of the heroes have been brought to 0 hit points, or the Gluttony Dragon himself has been brought down to 0. The side that survives is declared the winner. There are also summon cards that you can add into for the advanced game. It just gives a one-time special ability for the different players randomly around the game. Overall, the Gluttony Dragon is a simple game where you get to upgrade your characters and try to outthink your opponents as you're playing this rock, paper, scissors style combat in a 1 vs. many children's game. Will you be able to save the picnic, or will the Gluttony Dragon eat up all the food?
The Gluttony Dragon is definitely a pretty cool little kids game. I really like the choices that you make in the paper, rock, scissors with the choices of whether doing close combat or range combat or using magic. It's definitely cool to see all the different upgrades with the cute little things, whether it's like bubble tea or different swords and wizard hats and things like that you can upgrade your characters with. It's interesting how this is a kids game that's 1 vs. many. I haven't seen any other kids games that are like 1 player where you can be the adult playing the dragon and then the kids are playing the other characters, and if one of the kids feels more comfortable, they can play the dragon where everybody else plays against them. But you can kind of like tailor the difficulty depending on how you play the game if you're an adult playing with other kids. And that's really fun too. As far as the game goes, it's not all that complex, so I think it should be pretty easy for kids to be able to grasp. You're literally just picking one of those 3 and trying to make a good decision based on the items that your opponent has. It's like, okay, he has a weapon that upgrades his range attack, so I think he might pick pick range because it'll be better for him to do that, but knowing that, maybe I'll pick this one, which does better against range. But since I know that and he knows that, then maybe I should not do that. Maybe he'll pick a different one, so maybe I should pick a different one. And it's all this back and forth of trying to figure it out. And that can be a little bit nuanced for kids, but as they get older, they can kind of like grasp that and check that out. And kids are gonna love the crazy, like awesome art, like very cartoony and very fun. And this is part of a trilogy, and it's cool to see how this fits in. This is probably one of the a little bit more like, I wouldn't say complex because you're really just making those choices, but a little bit more advanced and you're like directly like attacking each other, which is kind of interesting, but they do get to team up. So this is the one that's mostly like cooperative against the other player. So if you want to play ones where you're working together to try to take out the adult as the kids, then that's a really cool thing. So make sure to check out Gluttony Dragon by Shepard Games.
Make sure to check out all 3 games in the Numeracy Legends trilogy.
Hey guys, it's Steph. If you want to learn more about Numeracy Legends and the Rainbow Unicorn, you can check out my YouTube channel at Pumpkin312.
If you'd like to learn more about Numeracy Legends and the Zelda Fox, check out our YouTube channel, To Die For Games.
It's Roy Candy from Epic Gaming Night, and make sure to go to my channel to get the 3rd game in the series, a 1 vs. Many kid game called the Gluttony Dragon. This is Roy Candy from Epic Gaming Night, and today we're taking
Epic Gaming Night today.